Hey y'all, welcome back to Better Future with your host Luis Quiroga Castañeda, and I will now talk about my elementary school and early life in this video, as you saw from the title. Basically, I am 20 right now, so I lived in Colombia for basically all the way until I was 12, right? And basically, live in Colombia, I lived in the capital, Bogota, and I was pretty well off. And I went to pre-K school, so I got a little bit ahead on just sort of the learning curve, and then moved to a K-12 school called El Agustiniano in El Agustiniano Salitre, and there I sort of took school all the way up to the fourth grade. And yeah, I love my family there. Funny story, I was afraid of my aunt's dog, which Loki pounced on me once, but nevertheless, guys. Um, I I think back then, obviously things were a lot simpler, but in terms of sports, I would say I tried soccer. I basically one of my it's basically been one of my favorite sports in a while. I don't know if any of you watching are Real Madrid fans. All Real Madrid, and as you can see, Colombian national team, big fan. And yeah, I tried soccer for all my elementary life, and but I quit on fourth grade because I had this very funky coach that I don't know. I don't know if he had a problem with me, or I just but I don't want to blame the coach. I genuinely wish I would have sort of kept going. I think sort of building foundation in a sport is very important when you're as little as fourth grade. But I one of those things that I guess I'll talk later in my other videos on how I sort of remediated that. But I didn't do much else other than that, and probably my mom put me in some tumbling lessons. But yeah, not much on that end. I wish I said I did more. On the social aspect of sort of my earlier life, I did not have too many close friends. Just sort of growing up, I did have one best friend back in my sort of K-12 school. And by the way, guys, Colombia sort of does schools a little differently. And the one I went to, it was literally kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade. So I was literally I was really a little kid, just walking the same halls as a 12th grader, which was nuts, if you ask me. But just a little context, genuinely. Yeah, I was really close to my friend David. If you're watching this, I miss you, bro. I genuinely think I only went to his house once in literally the whole time I met him, which I don't know if it was sort of my family thing for me, but may have been, or sort of a cultural thing, but I think it was a family thing, because I remember coming here and thinking play dates were like, oh, that's awesome, because I only had one, like, ever. I just remember me and him playing on the Wii. I think it was on one time. It was really fun. So props to that. Yeah, I wish I sort of had more of those experiences growing up. I know people here in the U.S. really. There's some people that like really close friends with their neighbors, and they just go out like a bunch, and yeah, just play outside and stuff. And I think just being sort of getting into that social aspect is very important generally. Uh, I also wanted to talk about my academics. I think I was pretty focused on my academics generally. I come from a family where we're really sort of into that, and just really focused in sort of the aspect of getting the best grades possible. So I sort of took upon that custom. Maybe that's why I didn't have too many play dates, but who knows? Change of schools. I've also, during fourth grade, I sort of completed three-fourths of the year in El Agustiniano, and then my parents decided to move me to another school, which was a bilingual school, and it sort of they had a better English program than the one I was at right now, because mine was a Catholic school, so we studied stuff like religion and ethics. Not not that it was like bad, but I think my parents wanted to sort of me to get more in touch with my English, because I believe my dad was sort of in touch with a possibility of going to the U.S. So probably a little forward planning for my parents. So I appreciate that on them. So I moved to this new school, right, and I don't know. I think I got a lot of scrutiny, genuinely, for as being the new kid. I don't know what these kids had up for me, but yeah, I was sort of not. I wouldn't call it bullying, but I was just bothered a little bit by just the people's attitude of this new school with me, and I stayed there for what, another 3/4 of the year, because their calendar was a little different. Academic calendar was a little different from the previous school. Like they were the same sort of a structure that they have here in the U.S. But meanwhile, the one I used to go at was sort of did like a longer winter break, as long as the summer break, and then for the summer they did like a shorter one. So that change of schedule sort of messed me up, and so yeah, I had to sort of again repeat fourth grade all over again, and yeah, that was rough, low key. I love the library. I remember in that sort of time in my life. So I think I really appreciated the library. I don't forget her name, man. I read a lot of what was it, Matilda books, I think, growing up. So I think that was kind of cool. Uh, and there's definitely a lot of activities going on, but I didn't really pay much attention to it. So I would say in that aspect, I would want to sort of be on more of the active side upon that, you know. Um, what else? Yeah, I met an awesome math and English professor that sort of really stood by my side during that time of my life. They sort of fended off people, so I really appreciate that. I only remember my English teachers, Mr. Mendebelso, my goat, and then my really cool math teacher that I'm really sorry about that. I forgot my name about. I forgot his name, but he was the best. And then I still also keep in contact with one. I try to reach them out, but I only keep in contact with one of my classmates. Her name is Andrea. So that's really cool that I still keep in contact. But yeah, that was sort of a big stage in my life, moving schools. I know it's hard. So if anyone watching sort of is moving schools and sort of having a little hard time, just know it'll get better. I mean, it's just getting used to like a new environment is just brutal, but one just adapts. That's all I have to say to it. Not much else. And then I ended up moving to the U.S. in fourth grade, and literally, but get this. By this point in my life, I had done 3/4 in my one school and then 3/4 in this school. So now, whenever my parents had tried to, I think, inscribe me for, I think, fifth grade, they were like, nah, your son's got to finish fourth grade. And that last sort of month of it. So I did. I spent like, I think a month, 2 months just finishing out my elementary school back in fourth grade. And yeah, I had the all right English, but I was terrified about moving to a new country. I mean, little Colombian boy is me. I don't know, and especially since I'm a very shy person, just generally back then more than now. But so making friends was a little harder than I would expect for me. But again, adapt. That's sort of a common theme. But yeah, it's a process, but I think the program here of ESL that they have, English as Second Language, I think that is an awesome program, genuinely. I met two of my closest friends all the way through my middle school that were in that, and I think they're sort of great. I forgot her name actually. Never mind. But shout out to my ESL teacher from elementary school. Streams, by the way. Streams Elementary. Shout out. But obviously I did miss family a lot. That was a big part. I think as an immigrant coming to a new country, it's definitely like a shock to have, I don't know, just having your immediate family be the only family that you have, sort of at the moment. It's brutal. I don't know, cause you, but in a sense, I think it's also sort of nice because it makes you bond a lot closer because it's those for me. I have a sister named Juliana. She's a freshman right now, so she's around 14, and my two parents. So literally the four of us, I think, bonded a lot over the fact that it was just the four of us here. So it's just a little side note. And yeah, I think on that aspect, on this stage of my life, yeah, I graduated fourth grade. I went through all the motions and ended up kept moving up towards the grades. So next up will be my middle school video series. I'm gonna split it into two: the lower middle school series, which is the next video, and then a higher middle school series, which is how Pennsylvania schools work. I know it doesn't work all the same in the U.S., but that's how I split it up because I got a lot to talk about on those ends. But yeah, I know this hasn't been very tip effective as of now, but it will definitely get a lot more tip heavy as sort of the series goes on. All right, so make sure to subscribe, hit the likes button, and yeah, make sure to look at my next video, the for lower middle school at Boyce Middle School. All right, thank you guys for watching.